Hi guys, I'm Shrishti Saha for MPSF Sports, and joining me today is head coach Juan Ignacio Calderon Pascual, who has played a major role in developing top collegiate fencers. Under his leadership, UCSD is now sending 10 athletes to the upcoming World University Games in Germany, a true testament to the program's growing impact. Alongside him are two standout fencers heading to the Games this July. We have Natalie Gabala representing Team USA in women's épée, making her debut at this prestigious Olympic style event. And we have Arnav Raja representing Team Australia in men's saber, returning for the second time after a strong finish at the Asian Senior Championships. It's a pleasure to have you guys all here with me today.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. So, general questions, all of you feel free to answer. Firstly, congratulations on being selected to participate at the World University Games. The Games have a reputation for elevating future Olympians. What does it mean for each of you to compete at an event like this, and what are you hoping to take away from it?
Well, honestly, it's an honor to represent my country at the international stage, and it's we get to meet other athletes from across different sports, so that's definitely a standout in this type of event that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, this competition is really prestigious and it's my first time in a while doing an international competition. So what I'm hoping to get out of this is just being able to see how my fencing compares like on the global level.
Very good. I'm not obviously competing, but I'm coaching the US team. So in this case, I'll have to compete against Arnav when when we have to fence against the Australian team and so on and so forth. We have another fencer from the UCSD team that is also in the Austrian team. So we cover three countries, but my role in there will be to take care of the US team. So it is exciting because it's really like a similar experience to Olympic Games in a smaller scale. So it is different. It's big. It's exciting. It's really a boost of motivation not only for the athletes but for me as a coach too. It's kind of a very unique experience.
And Juan, does it feel weird to be competing against Arnav, or is that something you're excited for? And Arnav, how does that feel?
I always like taking a fight against Coach, so I'm delighted to do so.
Same. No, that happens in multiple ways in my career. Sometimes, because of country or whatever in international competitions versus what we do at the collegiate level, that happens. And we take it with kind of fair play, with sense of humor too. Okay, but we are in a sport, so when we need to represent the school or we need to represent our country or whatever it is, we just need to be professional and go at it. Okay, so watch out, Arnav.
I love that. So similarly, how does competing in such a diverse, high pressure environment shape your perspective on fencing and your own development, both as fencers and Juan as a coach?
So who wants to start? Natalie, why don't you take that one?
Um, yeah, I've been fencing since I was about 8 years old, so I think I've gotten used to fencing in that high pressure environment. When I become older, I hope to pursue dentistry. So I think that high pressure environment where you need to be able to adapt to different situations, it'll help me in those type of situations in my career.
Yeah, and the way I see it is that we're competing against like the world's best, particularly at this event. And once we come back to like the NCAA or NPSF meets, we have like a loads more experience and dealing with pressure against these type of opponents, and we're able to take what we learned from it and apply it down to the competitions that we able to fence back in the States.
I agree. Fencing is a combat sport. We like pressure. So this is a unique opportunity to do it at a different level, international, something that motivates me in particular to have more diversity of opponents. Fencing is now very strong in the US. There are very big competitions with high pressure too, but international is always really, truly special. And so it's an opportunity also to celebrate. We just had a fantastic season. I'm very grateful that so many of our athletes representing three national teams are going to be able to participate. So that's a reward on itself, but we don't want just to celebrate. We want to do well. So that's exciting.
So I've heard that fencing is often described as, both a physical and mental chess match. How do you guys balance the physical demands with the strategic and psychological aspects during training and competition? Anyone
Um,
can take it.
yeah, like throughout the season, we've been working with our trainer, Abby, and she's been like catering the different workouts to the type of stuff that we need to focus on, um like our speed or yeah, stuff like that. She's been catering it. And then during the off season, like me and Arnoff, we both train at our clubs to stay in shape during postseason and prepare for like the World University Games.
Yeah, I would say our training regime at UC San Diego is very intense physically and mentally. I do feel like it does help us prepare for these type of competitions since our practices are very long and strenuous, and it's able to help us push forward dealing with pressure during the mornings and deal with it during competitions.
Wonderful. So now I have some questions specifically for Juan, but if you want to divert them, feel free to. So, with UCSD sending athletes to the World University Games across multiple national teams, how do you foster a culture that balances individual excellence with the team unity on such a diverse stage?
So, I mean, the thing in the World University Games, like it happens in World Championships or in the Asian Championships, like Arnav just went to, you fence both an individual competition and a team competition. Fencing is mainly perceived as an individual sport, right? Because it's a combat sport one to one, like tennis, for example. In reality, is very similar. I always think that tennis is a combat sport in a sense. So the starting point is very individually focused, but what every single fencer really loves sometimes the most is the team competitions, which is what you actually experience at the collegiate level first, and then it translates into the international competitions on a team format where you have a group of 3 to 4 fencers fencing against 3 to 4 fencers from the other team. And you carry kind of the weight of your team when you're on the strip, and then until the next person comes in. So that balance of sometimes knowing when you are on your own fencing versus when you really carry the team with you, it's a level of complexity in terms of how you need to perform in fencing that is unique and is intriguing as well. There are some people that are obviously a lot better purely on the individual side. There are people that are maybe more average on the individual side, but that are amazing on the team side. So that's as a coach, it's extremely interesting to be able to do both. We will be as a coach taking a lot of decision more on the team format because we decide the order, who is an alternate, who is a starter. Similar that happens in other team sports. So there is something extra to manage a higher level of demand for a coach because you have a more direct influence based on the decisions you take on the final result. When we coach on the individual level, is more of a advising, providing a different perspective, kind of a different pair of eyes from a slightly different angle of what is actually going on. So it's very different style of coaching when you're doing individually or when you do it as a team and the decisions that you need to take. And that again makes our job super interesting.
So, how do you help athletes manage the shift from NCAA fencing to World University Games fencing? Because I know you talked about now individual to team, but is there like anything specific you do to help them mentally shift, or is that not really your responsibility as much?
I'm gonna rebound that question to Arnav because he's very fresh.
Okay.
Like he just came back from like a week and a half. He was in Bali in Indonesia where
Mhm.
he finished top 16 in Asia in senior category, the highest level possible. And he's been fencing the entire season with us, doing some international competitions too, every now and then. And now he's really switching at the end of the season. He did the Asian Championships. He's going to go to the World University Games and right after to the World Championships. So, Arnav, how do you make the switch between NCAA, which is slightly different, to kind of this in your NCAA postseason, you are having your international season. How do you do that?
Yeah, well, I would say fencing, the different competitions at the end of the day, pretty much the same for us. We're still competing. It's the similar format. But obviously you have to take it to a higher level when you're competing internationally. So it's a lot more training, a lot more focus on. So like we do more 15 touch bouts instead of 5 touch matches, which are in the NCAA. So it's more about endurance and the quality of the matches that we have to endure on.
Wonderful. And Natalie, it's your first World University Games. Is there anything you're like specifically doing, or are you just going to take the experience as it goes?
I'm definitely going to do my best to learn some new techniques and strategies um, right before the competition starts. So hopefully that will help me to prepare better. Um, I've been taking more private lessons with my coach back home, and I'm just doing the most I can to help increase my chances of doing well at World University Games.
Well, I'm excited to see how it works out for you. I've read so much about you guys, and I'm sure you guys will do amazing. But Juan, back to sort of your fencing experience. You have a background of international fencing experience as well. Has that influenced your coaching philosophy when you prepare athletes? Does that make you more understanding when it comes to training? Like, how has that experience sort of encouraged you to approach your coaching differently?
So, so the answer is yes. I think international experience is valuable for anything you do. Okay, in that perspective, because you learn to pay more attention to differences, to nuances, not to be fixed on something. But one thing that is interesting for fencing in the US is because fencing is not a native sport of the US. Kind of fencing is kind of the European martial art. Okay. And in Europe, you have very predefined schools that are very deep and different, like the French school, the Hungarian school, the Italians, the Ukrainians, the Russians, and so on. There's some, right? And then in Europe, you see more like people that follow one particular type of school, and it's like the clash of the schools. The US, where is now a superpower in fencing, and so are many countries in Asia, they have been basically leveraging the schools, original schools from Europe, and in the US is more of a melting pot, like the country. So everybody in the US is more used already in the fencing world to really take pieces and kind of mix and match it and have that diversity of fencing. Okay, I often tease Arnav on his style of fencing, that is different, and it is different than many of the other fencers that we find, and I think that really helps in his success in terms of how we play that uniqueness that he brings into his game that he has developed himself. He's not following a very precise school. He's been tapping from all the experiences that he's been having with different coaches and now his international experience. And that makes it unique and interesting. So as a coach, I'm in constant learning mode and in constant observation mode because although it's an old sport with a lot of tradition, it's in constant evolution. And that makes it fun too.
I love that. Okay, now specifically to Natalie. Epee is often a battle of patience and precision. I know you said you started fencing when you were 8, but initially, how did you develop the mental endurance, or even like now, to stay sharp throughout the long tactical bouts?
I think it comes with a lot of practice and experience. When I was younger, my dad brought me to competitions almost every weekend. So just being in that environment helped to train my patience. Um, and yeah, through experience, you just get used to it.
Was there anything specific, like a specific experience or moment that helped you shape your approach to competition or training?
I think I'm constantly learning more about the way that I think during competitions. And the way I see it's kind of just like a constant evolution for me because I'm still figuring out which method works the best for me.
I love that because I think growth is so important as well. So your first time competing, that's so exciting. We've talked about that a lot, but are you doing anything specific to embrace it? What are you looking forward to most?
Um, there's a lot of things to look forward to. I'm definitely looking forward to the opening ceremony, along with just being able to be there and watch all the different weapons compete, and then also the team competition, I think.
I love that. Now, Arnav specifically, this is your second World University Games, and you just came off a strong finish at the Asian Senior Championships. Are you going to be doing anything different mentally or physically to help you prepare that, would have worked at the Asian Senior Championships that might not work at the World University Games? How has that shaped your own style and tactics?
Well, ever since the NCAA season ended, I've been, turning my focus and attention towards these international competitions. I've been training with my personal coach and my national team for the past couple of months, and we've been, aiming for the World Championships and University Games. So I feel like we're already set on the correct path to try and get at least a medal in this upcoming competition.
Hopefully. I hope that works out for you guys.
I,
So,
I might need to be on your way, Arnav. Yes, yes, yes.
I hope not too much.
Okay.
a little bit of friendly
I hope you get the
competition.
medal. I'll be very happy.
Let's just hope both of you get medals. That's what I'll be saying. Everyone gets medals all around. Everyone will be
We'll meet
happy.
in the final. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, coach.
Um, I know it's all about practice, and the more you practice, the better you get at developing your mental sort of frame. But is there any specific techniques or routines that you use to maintain clarity and composure in such a rapid environment during fencing?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's not all about just training and practicing. It's also about recovery, making sure you get a mental break, because otherwise you're just gonna get burnt out. By the time competition comes, you need to be in the proper environment mentally, and if you're not there, then all the training was for waste.
And so what does that mental break look like for you?
Honestly, just watching TV, going on my phone, sleeping, just something just to take my mind off, the sport.
Mhm. Keep in mind the fencing competitions, the day of competition, let's say the individual will be very long. It could be almost the entire day. You may start early in the morning, maybe 8, 9, and it could go all the way down to, the final. If you make it all the way to the final, it could be at 5 p.m. So it's very long, and as you get later in the day, you have very long breaks. So you need to activate, recover, but without really going into a nap or something that may not be able to recover. So managing those cycles during the day is very important. It's something that we also it happens in the NCAA competitions too, so we always talk about it. We try to prepare for it, hydration, nutrition in between, recovering the energy. When it's such a long day with in and out efforts, it has its challenges, but we are well prepared because that's what we do in our competitions.
Okay, and final question for everyone, free for all. How do you guys handle moments when a match isn't going your way? How do you turn that around?
Honestly, well, it's more of like just finding a mental reset. I feel like it's the best time. Usually there's like a halftime break where we get like a minute, at least in Sabre. And that's usually the moment where you can have your coach come talk to you, find out what you're doing wrong, and see what you can change in your style to match up against your opponent. And I usually feel like that's like the best way of turning things around when the match is not going your way.
Yeah, something I've noticed for myself in some cases and for some other fencers, when they're down in a couple points, they get more motivation to catch up, and then they take control of the bout even more, and it usually ends up in them catching up and winning the bout at the end. So just shifting the focus into what you need to do to score each point and catch up.
Yeah, at the highest level, in reality, that's exactly what makes the difference. How do you switch the momentum of the bout? The technical level is very good, the physical condition is very good. Hopefully, all those things equalize. There's different style, all those things, but the decision making, the building up a comeback or holding one, kind of managing all those shifts of momentum that you can really feel, almost taste that is happening from the inside and from the outside, and then controlling that away in the right moment. That's really what determines who wins. So it's kind of core to the sport. 100%. It happens very quick in just seconds. That suddenly the moment shifts completely.
Thank you. Thank you, Juan, Natalie, and Arnav, for sharing your experiences with us today. On behalf of the MPSF, we're so excited to watch your journeys unfold. We're so excited to watch the games. And we wish you all the best as you represent your schools, countries, and the sport of fencing. Good luck in Germany, and thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you so much.